We're going to cook a paella for some visitors that we're having here. It's going to be 6 people altogether. So we're going to try to make a nice something, you know, that everybody will enjoy. First of all, I want to show you the ingredients so that you can easily see. First, olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. This is something that is basic when you cook. You want to cook healthy stuff. And this is a rice. This is the most important ingredient of the paella. You can actually make a paella with anything and everything as long as you have rice. I made them with sausages. You can make them with fish. I don't quite like it, but you can have some excellent paellas with fish. You can have them with no meat at all, just with vegetables and whatever. But rice always make it. But also you can make a paella without rice. You can use pasta. You know, the same way as you use rice, you can use pasta. And the rice we use for the paella, I don't know if you can see it, are the little brown ones. You don't use long grain rice or anything like that. All right. Important before you start. That's why I put the oil before, the olive oil, is to make sure that the paella is level, and that the oil stays in the center, right? That's important for later. So we're gonna just light the central ring now while we cook the ingredients in the extra virgin olive oil. Garlic, put the garlic cloves whole, don't peel them or anything. You just break the skin a little bit, because this way they actually cook inside without disappearing. I love garlic just fried like that, cooked, and this is the best way to do it. A lot of people kind of get afraid of farting when they need to fart. I mean, I'm not saying that you have to fart in somebody's face or in the middle in front of everybody, but you just move away and fart, because if you don't fart, you can actually get very sick, you know. I mean, keeping the air inside of your body is really bad. So don't be... I was going to say something, but... Okay, that should be enough. All this water is going to make it. Remember, the main ingredient for the paella is rice. It's not meat. So if you put too much meat, then you won't have room for the rice afterwards.
And I had too much meat in mine.
Yeah, well, it's happened to me a few times, so it happens to everybody. It's just a matter of being careful and practicing. So, this is a dish for about 8 people. It's only 6 of us. So, I'm gonna try not to fill it up too much. The thinner the paella, the better. That's why the dishes are like this. That's why you can't cook paella in a saucepan or anything like this. It's got to be thin so that the rice cooks, you know, at the right speed, and then the rice should end up loose in the end, al dente and loose.
Right.
Okay, we're not just boiling rice and the rice.
Socarrat.
And the rice always goes in last. The meat now is cooked. You don't need to overcook them, but make sure that you cook it. You know, it doesn't help much, but that's how it is. So what I do is I just put it on the side, because again I only have the heat in the center now, and then I just gonna put in the center all the veggies. And the tomato.
Oh my god, this looks good. This is totally different than how I did it.
So, and now we're just gonna allow the veggies to cook for a little while. So this is 1 liter of water. You have to convert it to pints or fluid ounces or whatever you use, right? So, in general, everybody knows that the amount of water you have to put with rice. It's twice the amount of rice you put in of water. But of course here is very difficult because the water is evaporating all the time. What?
The other way around.
Twice the amount of water that you put of rice.
Yeah.
This is what I said. Is there?
Is this spousal abuse?
Is there? Can you please?
I think this is spousal abuse.
Okay, you're gonna show her later what
I will rewind.
Okay? So to start with, what I do is that I usually count on exactly. I mean, 1 liter for 5 people is 6 of us, so I'm just gonna put about a little bit more of 1 liter, so that I see what is the level of the paella, because that's what's gonna tell us later how much rice we need. It's the pan that tells us. Doesn't matter how much water you put. Okay. So I'm gonna do this now. And okay, some more hot water. We put a liter, so I'm just gonna put a little bit more. Right, and this is the. If you come over here, pan. These little rivets in the pan, okay, are very good as a reference of how much paella you're cooking.
Ah,
right?
okay.
Usually the paella, this for 8 people, the water level will come to the bottom of the rivets.
And when I made it, I had it like almost over the.
over there. Yeah. I remember seeing the rice kind of overflowing. Put more water because, as I said, it's going to be evaporating, and we want to make some nice milk. So
This is why they call him the Paella Whisperer. The Paella Whisperer. There's the horse whisperer, there's the woman whisperer, there's the Paella Whisperer.
the only thing I don't like about Mediterranean cooking in general is that when I cook, of course, is that instead of showing the Spanish flag, it always shows the Italian colors, you know? I mean, look, the green, the red, and the white.
Red, white,
always
green.
like that when you cook Mediterranean. But by the way, I love Italy, I love Italian food, I love Italian wine, so...
Yeah, but it's haven't we agreed that the Spaniards invented pretty much everything from air right through to the Spaniards invented the apron, right?
Yeah. Yes, look at it. Yeah. Okay. And I put some rosemary. This rosemary, we got it fresh in Granada, in the Alpujarra, in the mountains in Sierra Nevada. And we dry it up, and it's just fantastic.
Now that's also different than what I did. I did not put rosemary in.
So, that you want to put, you just make it like a little roll, you clear most of the solids out of the way, right, from handle to handle. And then you just pour the rice so that it shows at the top. A little bit, you make like a dike there. Okay, and then you put a little bit here. And a little bit here.
Now, how much rice is that, Javier?
I don't know.
Oh, you
I just
still
put
you
it
do
there
by
and
feel.
It just happened to be the right amount.
Oh, I see. So
Okay? The cross has no religious significances. Okay? It's just that it works is the two radius, the two diameters of the circle, right? So this is the right amount of rice for this liquid. You move it well, you make sure that it's all evenly, because after this you don't touch the rice anymore. Okay. So now we've just tasted the rice again, and the rice is almost done. Remember, we want the rice to be al dente. And now we've put the fire up a little bit, heat up a little bit, because we want the bottom to caramelize. And you can really hear clearly the rice crackling, the paella crackling. And this is what we want. So we're just gonna be here smelling and waiting, because we don't want it to burn. Okay, we want it to stick to the bottom, but we don't want it to burn. So as soon as we smell any burn smells, we turn it off. Okay? So, off now. Now it smells like the rice is sticking to the bottom, but it's not yet burning. So that the rice. We want the rice to be loose, not to be soggy. Okay. And because it's still just needs a little bit more until it's soft enough, we want to cover the paella so that the steam finish cooking the rice, right? But we don't have a lid big enough, so I'm gonna put the lid here, and then I'm gonna use Paella Maker's best friend, which is a newspaper. It's good for many things, right? And one of them is just to cover the paella, because newspaper paper does not allow the steam to get through. You can see we've had to put some clothes on because as soon as the fire is off, we realize that we're living high up in the mountains, so it gets pretty cold at night. Now, paella should be ready by now, so we're just going to move it. This is another thing, what newspaper is good, you just use it so that you don't burn your hands, because this pan stays hot, really hot. Oof. Okay, then we leave this here, and we'll take the paella to the table. Here we go.